I did become very interested in the diaconate and the social justice work that order is involved with, and it was a great companion to the work I was doing with city government and with the churches in Wilmington, North Carolina. So that was very fulfilling.
So you were a deacon for quite some time
Yeah.
before you received ordination to the priesthood.
Right. And it was after my husband died that then I went into conversation with the bishop and stepped down from the job I was holding, which was managing a public radio station, and entered discernment again and did a year of hospital chaplaincy in Wilmington as part of my discernment. And because I, at that point, had done a lot of social justice work and was preaching and helping to lead liturgy regularly, but I hadn't really done any pastoral work because that wasn't part of my call. And so doing the hospital chaplaincy gave me a chance to investigate that part, and as I expected I would, I found that I really loved it. Part of it came out of the experience of my own husband's death. He was in intensive care for 3 months, and so I had been through a lot of what I would later discover people, well, lots of people go through those kinds of situations, but I had a real understanding of what it felt like as a spouse. I think an essential message of the gospel is that there is new life on the other side of suffering. I think that's part of the message of Jesus, life and death and resurrection. And so for me, becoming a priest was the new life after the loss of my husband. And rather than sort of tinkering around the edges of my life, I was open to a whole new life, and God opened that up for me. And being widowed and childless, being very close to the family of God is wonderful. It's a way of being part of something beyond yourself, in which you learn what it means to be a child of God and part of the family of God. I'm kind of a Martin Luther type who says that we all have a vocation, some to be ordained and some not, but we all have a call from God. And so I think we should do a better job, first of all, of helping people discern their gifts and how their gifts can be put into God's service. It's, of course, wonderful that the Episcopal Church is opening its doors more widely to folks with a variety of identities and backgrounds and gifts to serve in ordained ministry as well as lay people. I think that's a sign that we're continuing to listen to the Holy Spirit and not being so rigid about what we think God is up to. I love studying scriptures. I love preaching and thinking about scriptures. And I love trying to help people see how that connects to their lives. The scriptures are I believe, inspired by God, and they are culturally determined. They're an artifact of a time and place. And when we get, as all of our experiences are, I mean, our language, the work that we're doing now is culturally circumscribed. But the point I think of studying the scriptures is trying to help understand that context and then see it, back out 30,000 feet or whatever and see it within our own context. My point being that the fact that Jesus has only male disciples, as reported by name anyway, in the Bible, was in the first place, I think, the normal course of events for a rabbi and disciples. But to take from that only men can be called to the priesthood, to be apostles, to be teachers and priests is to mistake the cultural circumstances of that story, to miss the message of the story because of its contextual and cultural circumstance